his bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long climbed the bank, some folk he sought, so rested he by the trunk of a tree, and stood a while in thought. And as an upfish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes aflame came whiffling through the toady wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through. Yeah, the vocal blade with snicker snack, he left it dead, and with his head he went galumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy, O Brad, to stay Kaluka lay chortled in his joy. 'Twas brilliant, and the sun told the dire, and dimple in the way. While music with the barnacles in the mow may raps out.
She found herself falling down a very deep well. She fell very slowly and had plenty of time as she went down to wonder what was going to happen next.
Why, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. Even if I fell off the top of a house, I shouldn't say anything about it.
Which is very likely true.
Let me see. I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. But then let me see. I wonder what latitude or longitude
Alice had no idea what latitude was, or longitude either. But she thought they were nice, grand words to say.
Longitude. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. How funny those things for not one people
see a cat grinning at her.
Excuse me, Mr. Cat. Would you tell me why you grin like that?
I'm a Cheshire cat. That's why.
I didn't know that Cheshire cats always grinned. In fact, I didn't know that cats could grin.
Well, we all can, and most of us do.
Well, I don't know any that do. Would you tell me, please, which way I have to go from here?
Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to get to.
Well, I don't much care where.
Then it doesn't matter which way you go.
So long as I get somewhere.
Oh, you're sure to do that if you only walk long enough.
What sort of people live about here?
Well, in that direction lives a hatter. And in that direction lives a March hare. Visit either you like, they're both mad. Crazy.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
You can't help that. We're all mad here. I'm mad. You're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
You must be. Or else you wouldn't have come here. Have a wonderful time.
That's the most curious thing I saw in all my life. Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting! Drink me! No, I'll check first and see whether it's marked poison. It's not marked poison. What a curious flavor. Taste of cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast. What a curious feeling. I must be shutting up like a telescope. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh my ears and whiskers. She is so little. If I'm late to the croquet game, the queen shall have me beheaded. Oh! Curiouser and curiouser.
Alice was so much surprised she quite forgot how to speak good English.
And now I'm opening out like the largest telescope that ever was. Oh, my ears and whiskers. He is a giant. I'm little. Now I'm back to my regular size. I must be more careful with my drink from now on.
Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes.
He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases. Wow, wow, wow.
An invitation from the Queen of Hearts to play croquet.
An invitation from the Queen of Hearts to play croquet. Thank you. I want to be a queen.
Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases. Wow, 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 wow.
This must be the Queen of Hearts herself. If it please your majesty, I'm coming to your croquet game. My name is Alice.
Alice? I am the Queen of Hearts. Over there with the baby, that's the White Queen. And the gentleman with the balls, that's the Knave of Hearts. My son
She made some tarts all on a summer day. The knave of hearts, he stole those tarts and took them away. He dropped it.
If everybody minded their own business, the world would go round a deal faster than it does.
Which would not be an advantage. Just think of the work it would make with the day and the night. You see, the Earth takes 24 hours to turn around on its axis.
Oh, talking of axes, chop off her head!
Well, 24 I think, or is it 12?
Oh, don't bother me. I never could abide figures. Oh! Out with your head!
Do you play croquet with the Queen today?
I should like to very much. I have been invited.
Well, you'll see me there.
Oh, dear.
Well, I dare say you've not had many lessons in manners yet.
Manners are not taught in lessons. Lessons teach you to do sums and mathematics and things of that sort.
Can you do addition? What's one and one and one and one and one and one?
Well, I don't know. I must
She can't do addition. Can you do subtraction? Take 9 from 8.
Well, 9 from 8. I can't.
She can't do subtraction. Can you do division? Divide a loaf by a knife. What's the answer to that?
Well, I suppose.
Bread and butter, of course.
Dreadful nonsense we're talking.
She can't do sums a bit. Do you know languages? What's French for fiddle-dee-dee?
Fiddle-dee-dee's not English.
Whoever said it was?
If you tell me what language fiddle-dee-dee is, I'll tell you the French for it.
Queens never make bargains.
I wish queens never asked questions. And I wish I were a queen so I didn't have to answer things.
I am the White Knight. Whoa! I am the White Knight. It was a glorious victory. I am the White Knight, and I can escort you safely to your destination.
Thank you. I was going to visit the Martinez house before I played croquet. I want to be queen. I dare say you've not had much practice in riding.
What makes you say that?
Because people don't fall over quite so often when they've had much practice.
I have had plenty of practice. The great art of riding is to keep one. None to speak of. Oh, the great art of riding, as I was saying, is to keep one's balance properly, like this, you know. Oh, plenty of practice.
May I help you off with your helmet?
Oh, now one can breathe more easily. I hope you've got your hair well fastened on.
Only in the usual way.
That's hardly enough. You see, the wind is so very strong here. It's as strong as soup.
Have you got the plan of keeping the hair from being blown off?
Not yet, but I have a plan for keeping it from falling off. Would you like to hear
Very
it?
much.
First, you take an upright stick. Then you make your hair creep up it like a vine. Ah! Now, the reason hair falls off is because it hangs downwards. Things never fall upwards, you know. It's a plan of my invention. You may try it if you like.
Thank you very much.
Let's go.
Oh, the Martinez house is this way.
Exactly long.
Alice went on and on. She noticed that wherever the road divided, there were sure to be 2 finger posts pointing in the same direction. The first read Tweedledum's house, The other, the house of Tweedledee.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his nice new rattle.
To pay, you know, because waxworks weren't meant to be looked at for nothing, no.
Contrariwise, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak.
I'm sure I'm very sorry. Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee.
I know what you're thinking, and it isn't so, no.
Contrariwise, if it was so, it might be. And if it were so, it would be. But as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
Yes. I was thinking which is the best way to the March Hare's house. You could tell me.
I'm sorry, you've been wrong. The first thing at a visit is to say, how do you do?
You do.
Okay. 4 times round is enough for one day.
I hope you're not much tired.
No, Al, and thank you very much for asking.
So, much obliged.
Oh, you needn't be afraid. It's just a rattle, not a rattlesnake, you know.
I knew it wasn't.
Butter on this hand. You. Of course.
You need to be so angry about an old rattle.
But it isn't all that's new. It's my nice new rattle. Of course you agree to have a battle.
I suppose so. Only they have to help us to dress up, you know.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum, it's all said and now it's time to take minds of every side to get the minds from very far. And if we start looking, the light is never without him. And so we sing with easy voices out. And all because of and man has got this one more. The thoughts are really on the dinner. I think the people about the thoughts standing now and some of their lives of their lives of their lives of their lives. And once they're gone, they're going to start to walk and you don't need to go. Fight! Get it on!
The long battle made Alice very thirsty. So when the Cheshire Cat offered her another bottle to drink from, she did without second thought. And soon found herself nearly 3 inches high. Looking all around, Alice spied toad appear over the top, and her eyes met those of a large caterpillar.
Who are you?
I'm afraid I hardly know, sir, just at the moment. At least I knew who I was when I woke up this morning, but I seem to have been changed several times since then.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
Well, I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir, because I'm not myself, you see.
I don't see.
Well, I'm afraid I can't put any more clear in my head understand myself to begin with, and being so many different sizes of the day is very confusing.
It isn't.
Well, perhaps you haven't had it to be so yet, but when you have to into a chrysalis, and after that into a butterfly, you will someday, you know. I should think you feel a bit weird, don't you?
Not so late.
Well, perhaps your feelings may be different, but all I know is it feels very queer to me.
You? Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me who you are first.
Why? Come back. I've something important to say.
Keep your temper, is that all?
No. So you think you've changed, do you?
I'm afraid so. I can't remember things as I used, and I don't keep the same size for 10 minutes together.
What size do you want to be?
Well, I'm not particular as to size, only one doesn't like changing so often, you know.
I don't know.
But I'm not used to it. I wish the creatures wouldn't be so easily offended.
Yo. Good.
You'll get used to it in time.
How does it feel now that you're turning into butterflies? It feels a bit queer to me.
One side makes you larger, and the other makes you small. One side makes you larger, and the other makes you small.
One side of what? The other side of what?
Of the mushroom.
Alice reached her arms round the mushroom and broke off a piece of the edge in each hand. She set to work immediately, nibbling first from one and then the other, growing sometimes smaller and sometimes larger until she'd succeeded in regaining her usual height. Now, which is which?
Which is which? Which is which? Which is which? Oh! What? Where are you going?
Speak when you're spoken to.
Well, this is grand. I never expected I should be a queen so soon. And I'll tell you what it is, Your Majesty. If I really am to be queen, I shall be able to manage it quite well in time. Will you tell me which is the best way to the Martinez house?
Speak when you're spoken to.
But if everybody did that, you see, and you always waited for the other person to begin, and the other person always waited for you to begin, you see that nobody would say anything.
Ridiculous. Why don't you see, child? Well, what do you mean if you really were a queen? What right do you have to call yourself so? You can't be a queen until you pass the proper examination. And the sooner we begin it, the better.
I only said if.
She only says if.
But she said a whole great deal more than that. Oh, ever so much more than that.
So you did, you know. Always speak the truth. Think before you speak and write it down afterwards.
I'm sure I didn't mean.
Well, that's just what I complain of. You should have meant. What do you suppose is the use of a child without any meaning? A joke should have some meaning, and a child more important than a joke, I hope. You couldn't deny that even if you tried with both hands. Nobody said you did. I said you couldn't. If you
writing desk.
Oh, I'm glad they've begun asking riddles. I think I can guess that.
You mean you think you can find the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Oh, you should say what you mean.
Well, I do. I mean what I say, and that's the same thing, you know.
Oh, not the same thing at all. Why, you might just as well say, I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see.
Or you might just as well say that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like.
Or you might just as well say that I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
Same thing with you.
Tell me, have you found the answer to that riddle yet?
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Because it's flat.
Because it's flat.
Not exactly, no.
Well, what's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Nor I!
I should think you'd have something better to do with the time than waste it on asking riddles that have no answer.
If you knew time as well as I did, you wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's him you'd be talking about.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
No, of course you don't. I dare say you've never even spoken to time.
Perhaps not, but I know you have to beat time when you play music.
Oh, that accounts for it. Time, he won't stand a beating. Now, if you only kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you like with the clock. For instance, say it was 9 in the morning, just in time for school. You need only mention a whisper to time, and around the clock in a twinkling, noon, time for lunch.
I only wish it was.
Well, that would be grand, certainly, but then I shouldn't be hungry for it so early, you know.
No, not at first, perhaps, but you could keep it at noon as long as you liked. Sandwich?
Thank you.
You look a little bit shy. Let me introduce you. Alice. Sandwich. Sandwich. Alice. I'm a sandwich. It's not very polite to eat someone you've been introduced to.
Whoa! Silence! You see, the truth is time and I quarreled at the great concert given by the Red Queen. I had to sing, you know. Twinkle, twinkle, little...
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
They'd only made it to the first verse before the Red Queen jumped up and bawled out,
He's murdering time! Off with his head!
You're dreadfully savage.
I vote the young lady tell us a story.
I'm afraid I don't know any.
Oh, well, then the Dormouse shall. Wake up the Dormouse.
I wasn't sleeping. I heard every word you fellows were saying.
Then tell us a story.
Please.
And you better be quick about it or else you're going to be asleep before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were two sisters. They lived at the bottom of a rabbit hole.
What did they live on?
Honey. They lived out honey.
Well, they couldn't have done that. They'd have been ill.
Oh, and so they were. Very ill.
Yes, they were very, 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 very ill.
Nobody asked your
Oh, who's making a personal remarks now?
Yes.
Who? Now,
That is the stupidest tea tray I ever was at in all my life. I'm never going there again. I'm going to go play croquet with the Queen of Hearts.
I am the White Knight. I dare say you noticed just now that I was looking rather thoughtful.
You
inventing a new way of getting over a gate. Would you like to see it?
Very much indeed.
Well, I said to myself, the only difficulty is with the feet. The head is high enough already. Now I put my head on the gate. Then I stand on my head. Now my feet are high enough, you see. Now I'm over, you see.
Yes, I suppose you would be over when that was done. But don't you think it would be rather hard?
It may take hours and hours to get me out. Sura MT.
How can you go on talking backwards so, head downward?
No, what does it matter where my body happens to be? My mind goes on working all the same. In fact, the more head downwards I am, the more I keep convincing me things. I must ride on. I'll see you after your croquet game with the Queen. Tally ho! A better cartwheel!
Nice cartwheel!
A pretty good shoulder roll!
Karate kick!
Well, what?
That's it!
Watch out here! Oh! Head spring! Oh! I said watch out here!
I couldn't help it, the knave was jumping on me!
Oh, that's right, Hare. Always lay the blame on others.
Oh, you'd better not talk.
Why?
I heard the Queen, your mother, say only yesterday you deserve to be beheaded.
What for?
That's none of your business, Hatter, and leave my mother out of this!
It is his business, and I'll tell him. The knave stole the Queen's tart.
Of all the unjust things I've ever heard.
Tell me please what you're doing.
A cartwheel?
Why, the fact is, Mrs. Alice, this,
Ought to have been a red rose tree. And we planted a white one by mistake, so we're painting it before the Queen comes to cut our heads off.
so you see, the fact is, we're trying our best we can before the Queen comes up.
Who's this? The knave, my son!
Mama!
Idiot!
If it please your majesty, I'd like to be a queen if I could just get a crown.
Off with her head! Consider, your highness, she is only a child. Get up! What? Leave off that, you make me giddy! Off with their heads!
You shan't be beheaded.
All their heads! All their heads are off, if it pleases your majesty. Do you play croquet?
Yes.
Well, come on and get to your places!
It was the most curious croquet ground Alice had seen in all her life. It was all ridges and furrows. The balls were like hedgehogs, and the mallets like flamingos. Cards had to double themselves up on their hands and feet to make arches.
There. Now I'll just get its neck nicely straightened out. And it twists itself around and looks me in the face with a puzzled expression.
Off with his head!
The doubled up cards are always getting up and walking up to other parts of the ground. It's a very difficult game indeed.
Off with his head!
They're dreadfully fond of beheading people around here. The great wonder is anyone left alive?
How do you like the Queen?
Oh, not at all. She's so extremely likely to win that it's hardly worthwhile finishing the game.
Yes! Off with their heads!
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
All the Queen's horses and all the Queen's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty sat a great wall. All the Queen's horses and all the Queen's men
couldn't put Humpty together again.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the queen's horses and all the queen's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
Don't just stand there chattering yourself like that. Tell me your name and your business.
My name is Alice.
It's a stupid name. What does it mean?
Must a name mean something?
Of course it must. My name, Humpty Dumpty, means the shape I am. And a good handsome shape I am too. With a name like yours, you might as well be any shape almost. You're so exactly like other people.
You seem very clever at explaining names, sir. Could you kindly tell me the meaning of the poem Jabberwocky?
I can explain all names that have ever been invented and a good many that haven't been just yet. Let's hear it!
'Twas Brillig and his slimy toes to gyre and gimble in the way. Oh, Mimsy, where the motor goes, the moon may rise out gray.
That's an awfully long name.
Oh, that's not the name, that's the poem.
Oh,
What's Brillig?
really? It means 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the time when you begin broiling things for dinner.
And what is slimy?
Slimy is light and slimy.
I see it now. And what are toads?
Toads are something like badgers, there's something like lizards, and there's something like corkscrews.
They must be very curious looking creatures. And the wave is the grassy cloud around the sundial, I suppose.
Of course it is. It's called wave, you know, because it goes a long way before it and a long way behind
And
it.
a long way beyond it on all sides.
Exactly so. So bad. Well then, Mimsy is flimsy and miserable. A Borgove is a thin, shabby-looking bird with feathers sticking out all around, and a rat, well, it's a sort of green pig.
And what's a moan? An outrage mean?
Oh, now. There.
'Twas Brillig and his slimy toes to gyre.
I can recite poetry as well as any other folk if it comes to that.
Oh, it needn't come to
The
that.
poetry I'm going to recite was written entirely for your amusement.
Thank you.
In winter time, when the fields are white, I'll sing this song for your delight. Only, I don't sing it.
Well, I can see you don't.
If you can see that I don't sing it, you have sharper eyes than most. In spring, when woods are getting green, I'll try and tell you what I mean.
Thank you.
In summer, when the days are long, perhaps you'll understand this song. In autumn, when the leaves are brown, take a pen and ink and write this down.
I will if I can remember it for so long.
You needn't go on making remarks like that. They're not sensible and they put me out. Ah! I sent some message to the fish. I told them this is what I wish. The fish's answer is the grin. By what the temper you are in. My heart went bump. My heart went thump. I filled the kettle at the poop.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
I told them once, I told them twice. They would not listen to advice. When someone came to me and said, "There is no business are in bed," I said to him, I said it plain, then you must wake it up again. I said it very loud and clear. I went and shouted Goodbye.
Goodbye. Till we meet again.
Yeah. I shouldn't know you if we did meet again. You're so exactly like other people.
Oh, we're sad. Let me sing you a song.
I'd rather not. Is it very long?
It's long, but very, very beautiful. Everybody hears me singing. Either it brings the tears into their eyes or else. Oh.
Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in a hush tureen, who for such dainties would not stoop. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup, soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup.
You're not crying nearly so much as I thought you would.
Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup.
Perhaps you were never introduced to a lobster.
I once had a lobster for dinner. No, I never met a lobster.
Then you can have no idea what a delightful dance a lobster quadrille is.
No, indeed. What sort of dance is it?
Why, first you form a line along the seashore.
2 lines. You got seals, turtles,
Turtles.
catfish, and so on.
Cheshire catfish.
Always with the Cheshire. Then once you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way,
That generally takes some time.
Oh,
Clearing jellyfish.
thank you. You advance twice.
Each with a lobster as a partner.
Of course, you advance twice, set to partners.
Change the lobsters. And retire in the same order.
Then, you throw the
Lobsters!
lobsters as far out to sea as you can.
Swim after them.
Turn a somersault in the sea,
Change the lobsters again.
back to land again, and that's all the first figure.
it must be a very pretty sort of dance.
Would you like to see a little of it?
Very much indeed.
Let's try the first figure.
Will you walk a little faster, sail a light into a snail? There's a porpoise close behind the sail, dragging on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters circles all around. They are waiting on the jingle. Will you come and join them?
Come on.
Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance?
That's right.
Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance?
In the back,
You can really have a notion how the light will be when the
Nothing whatever?
Nothing whatever.
That's very important.
Unimportant, Your Majesty means, of course.
Unimportant, of course, I meant. Important, unimportant.
A letter has just been picked up. It seems to have been written by the prisoner himself. To somebody.
Please, Your Majesty, I didn't write that letter. They can't prove I did. There's no name signed on the end.
If you didn't sign it, that only makes matters worse. You must have made some mischief, or else you would have signed it like an honest boy. That proves his guilt, so off with his head!
That proves nothing of the sort. Why, you don't even know what this letter is about.
Read it!
Where shall I begin, Your Majesty?
Well, you begin at the beginning, you go on till you get to the end, then stop.
They told me you had been to her and mentioned me to him. She gave me a good character, but said I could not swim. I gave her 1, they gave me 2, you gave us 3 or more. They all returned from him to you, though they were mine before. If I or she should chance to be involved in this affair, we trust to you to set them free exactly as we were. My notion was that you had been, before she had this fit, an obstacle that came between him and ourselves and it. Don't let them know that she liked me best. For this must ever be a secret kept from all the rest between yourself and me.
Do wake up, you heavy things.
Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in my hut to read.
My Wonderland friends, I call you, draw near. 'Tis an honor to see me, a favor to hear. 'Tis a privilege high to have dinner and tea, along with the red queen, the white queen, and me.
Fill the glasses as quick as you can, and sprinkle the table with butter and bran, put cats in the coffee and ice in the tea, and welcome me out the 30 times 3.
30 times 3 makes 90. I wonder if anyone's counting.
Fill the glasses with honey and egg, or anything else that is pleasant to drink, mix in the cider and wool with the wine, and welcome me out with 90 times 9.
90 times 9? That'll never be done. I'm so glad you've all come without waiting to be asked. I never would have known who were the right people to invite.
Take care of yourself.
We're all glad
Here. Something's going to happen. Alice found herself once again head resting on her sister on the bank. Wake up, Alice dear. What a long sleep you've had.
Above, beneath the sunny sky, lingering on earth, dreamily,
Eager eye and willing ear, please the simple tale to hear. Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. Still she haunts me, phantom wise, Alice, moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. Children yet the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream? And in blown away, all in me the Lord knows, and all the rats outweigh. When the devil walked my son, the jaws of rice, the claws of cats, hear the turf and bird and shun, the ruinous man is sent. He took his four-fold sword in hand, on time the maxim that he sought, so rested the key by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as an outfish he stood, the shadow walked with eyes of flame, looking through a token wood, and verbal as it flew. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through and through. The ball played with finger snack, he left it then, with his head, he went to the luxury back.
And how
In the jazz.